thinking about Ben now?
And Devin, one of those are for me too.
That's not gonna work for me. Give me my copy, not staple.
Yeah.
I gotta go square up the corners.
Is this what you fill out with this motion?
I gotta square up the corners.
Can't keep up to that.
It's very selective. Some things just don't bother me, and other things do.
Why did we get another copy of this?
This is the one we didn't have. Unless you printed your own.
Yeah.
That's the ones that you. From the last meeting.
Do you have one for Bob's? I can put this back in. Did you print one?
There should be.
I don't see. Oh, no, I just didn't grab all of them.
You did. That's what I did. When I passed out my report, I was one short.
Hold on. Somebody's missing some pages.
Uh-oh. I'd go all the way to the motion. That's ready to meeting, so.
I think it's me.
This is what it is.
This is the last 2 pages.
Yeah.
So your sister went up to you on a vehicle, didn't she?
Apparently.
What's that?
Yep, it is 7 o'clock. We'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Monica, will you lead us in roll call, please?
Orville,
Here.
Sam,
Here.
Todd,
Here.
Devin,
Here.
Monica, here. Bob is absent. Ben,
Present.
And Bob is excused absent, so just make sure to note that he was excused. All right, with that, then we'll move to review and approval of meeting minutes, starting with the September 12th minutes. Any comments or corrections needed for those minutes?
I do not.
Then I will make the motion to approve the September 12th, 2024 minutes as written.
So,
Who seconded? Sam seconds. So I have a motion and a second to approve the September 12th, 2024 regular meeting minutes as presented. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Which also reminds me, there needs to be a correction to the agenda. The date is not the September 12th meeting. It is the October 10th meeting. The agenda is correct otherwise. Now we'll move on to the October 3rd special meeting minutes. Any comments, questions, or corrections for those minutes?
Make a motion to approve as written.
I will second. So I have a motion and a second to approve the October 3rd, 2024 minutes as written. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Move on to liaison reports. We'll start with the trustees report. This covers several meetings, it looks like, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Starting with September 10th, because I couldn't remember.
I think you gave a verbal,
Yeah,
because I
I did.
remember the priority waste
Yeah.
and stuff.
That was the one I gave a verbal, so I didn't know if I had given one or not. I couldn't remember. So. You will notice on that one, when you get to the last one, October 8th, there's a correction to the one from the 10th. You know, not a correction, we changed something.
What's a review inspections and milestone draws?
So in the contract with the builder, he's to get paid in certain intervals when he reaches certain requirements. And that came up as a question already because he hit his first item. So we decided it would be best to hire someone to do it rather than some board member having to try and decide if he's met the goal properly or not. Or how do we know? Yeah. So we went with the
Basically have a project manager.
Well, we hired the architect just to review that.
Right.
So whenever the builder gets to a milestone and he wants another draw, then the inspection would go on, double check it, sign off that it's met that criteria, and then we would write the check.
Criteria, meaning certain codes and.
Yeah, make sure he's met the milestone in the contract. Yes. Like the first one was, don't quote me all the details, but the footings and the foundation and the flooring had to be done, and then when that's all done and approved, then he gets his first check. And that one was one we just approved in the last payables. And then on September 9th, you also noticed they approved the bid for Harper Alarm. It includes 11 cameras and a couple of questions, so he may have changed a couple of things after the fact, but it's going to cover the park with 11 cameras.
Okay. Is that, it was just the park, not park
Right.
and park?
Well, a couple of them point this direction, but
It'll have some
when the
coverage.
building is added and done, then
There'll be a separate,
Yes.
gotcha.
he hopes to tie them together. They'll be somehow connected.
Right, yeah, the systems will be tied together, but it's not like,
Right.
this
No,
includes
Right.
a certain amount of coverage for the property. Okay.
If I don't have the map in front of me, but I believe one or two of the cameras point this direction as
Gotcha.
the hall. But the only questions we had, and he was going to look at those, addressing them somehow. I don't know if it'll require a new camera, that'll have to come back.
Mhm.
But there was no actual camera in the sketch that we received that looked like it was gonna cover the front and back garage doors of the shed that's there.
Gotcha.
It was covering the vast area, but nothing
Right.
actually covering the door.
Showing.
At least the way it looked on the drawings. You know, if one of the cameras is gonna cover it and it just doesn't show it on the drawing, then it wouldn't make a change. But
Gotcha.
How many cameras is gonna be in the park?
I believe 11, all in the general area of the pavilion and the building, the parking lot, and the playground.
Not out in the
No,
woods. I was gonna say,
No.
that'd be interesting.
no, just in that general area.
So it wasn't discussed to just remove the trustee from the Parks and Rec Committee as that a position no longer really needs to exist?
Say it again.
So I see that Sam, Layla, and Doris were appointed, and then the members were raised to 7.
Yeah, there's
So
still,
my
there's still
understanding
short
is
one
that-
member.
But my understanding is that Tom still sits on that board currently, right, as the trustee liaison, which is a position that really
Yeah.
doesn't need to exist.
Oh, they didn't take him off though. His term's
Right,
not
but
up.
so that wasn't
No, it
that wasn't
on.
discussed as a possibility instead of raising the number of members?
No.
Okay.
No, because that's still one of the 7, or one of the 6 in this
Right,
case.
but you wouldn't have needed to raise the number of members if they would have just removed the trustee. That the whole reason that commission got put under us in the first place was because they were complaining that nothing was getting talked up to the board of trustees.
Right, but that had nothing to do, maybe I'm getting confused, but that had nothing to do with the going from 5 to 7, or from 7 down to 5 in the
No,
first
no, no.
place.
I'm just all I'm saying is instead of just going to raise, why wasn't there a discussion of just removing a member, the trustee member that really
And
doesn't,
keeping it at 5?
and keeping it at 5?
That didn't get brought up.
Okay.
But there was an immediate discussion of
If
people
somebody
preferred
else was gonna
7.
step down or not, or if they were gonna raise it.
There was immediate, the first motion didn't include raising it to 7,
Right.
and that failed.
Okay.
So then it was changed to increasing it to 7, and that went through. Now that leaves one vacant seat at this point, so we still need somebody to step forward and become a Parks and Rec committee member.
Okay. Any other questions on that report?
Not a question, well, I guess it is a question. Can you look over the budget request for the parks on the last one there, back page?
Mm-hmm.
The only number I don't think was the way we had recommended it was the bottom one, but I'm not sure. And that's the way it went through, so. The bulletin board, they only approved for a maximum of $1584.94, and I think we had asked for $1,700, so they had room for supplies if necessary.
I don't know, that was at the September meeting, I do
Yeah.
believe.
Oh yeah, we have that from us now.
Yes, we suggested round the cost up to 17.
But the other numbers are,
But that number is actually lower than what originally came to us by a little less than $2.
the 15 something?
Yeah, 1584.94, and what was presented to us was 1586.82. So
Well, that's the number that was on the paperwork that was in front of us. On the quote,
right,
not what we approved. I'm talking about the quote from the
Yeah.
committee.
the documentation
Yeah,
that we originally got showed 1586.82. So whatever documentation was sent and was put before the board of trustees was a little bit cheaper. I don't know if that makes a difference or
I
not, but
don't know.
it was about $2 cheaper.
Okay. Well, hopefully
I mean,
it's correct and it works.
I guess we'll see once it, like, was there anybody appointed to actually place the order for it?
Nope.
Okay, so then how do we get that done? I mean, approval
They were approved to do it, so
okay.
I don't know the answer to that.
supervisor about that and recommend that maybe a special meeting be, because like nothing saying how the 350 for the supplies for the Halloween event would get purchased.
It did get brought up, no.
Okay. I will see about getting
Sitting
that
here
fixed.
quickly, I didn't think of it at the time either, so.
Alright, I will see how to get that resolved because, I mean, that's,
Next week.
She asked me to order them
You have
You
a
did?
question
for
anyhow?
the Halloween stuff and to call the stores to get quotes on
okay,
buying cider.
okay.
I've had an email.
I guess the question though is even though they approved the budget, they didn't give guidance as to how and when and like who was going to be doing the ordering.
Right, it didn't get discussed.
Wouldn't that be up to the,
Well, they don't have a way to spend money against that. They just like, okay, you got this money to be able to spend.
Or
Parks
do they
and Rec
get
doesn't have
reimbursed?
authority to go charge
Yeah.
something or to use a credit card or.
So if they bought it, would they just get reimbursed, bring in the receipts? get
I
reimbursed?
mean,
We've done that before.
you can, but it's not the preferred way to do it. The preferred way to do it would be to have, like, Sarah do the ordering, but
The preferred way would have been any one of us on the board, or audience members, especially audience members that happen to be on the committee, could have said, hey, how does that get purchased?
yeah.
Any one of us could have thought of it at the meeting and it would have been handled the proper way. Didn't think of it, got skipped.
that has been on a few things,
Yes.
because I remember, getting things approved and then it doesn't, like, up to true value when
Right.
the maintenance guy was looking for parts and it was
It has
approved,
to, it has to be said to be technically correct.
Yeah,
If you're just approving an item on your agenda and you don't think to add words to it,
Right.
you got the next item on the agenda coming up, you're not thinking about it.
Well, perhaps there should be a written policy going forward on how that's supposed to be taken care of. So it's not a
Yeah.
yes every time.
That might be able to get added to this thing at the back, later in the meeting.
Yeah, we'll discuss that
That
later.
might be an easy way to fix that, Monica.
All right. Any other comments on the trustees report? If not, then we'll move on to the marijuana coordinator report. The only other report that we have at this point.
Quiet back there. I wondered if that was you making noises.
Busy.
What's the score?
1-1.
Is there any renewals that we gotta do?
Schedule?
Yeah.
No.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Any questions on the coordinator's report? If not, then we will move on to voting for planning commission officers and liaisons. We'll start with the chairman position. Anybody got any recommendations or would like to take on the position?
Bumped your head, didn't
I'm not going to offer myself up, so
I would recommend that we ask Devin to stay on if he's willing.
I'll
second
that.
I think, yes, we strong arm him. Maybe.
not my choice, but okay. I mean, I'll accept, so I'll need a motion.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Devin
I second.
as chairman.
All right, so I have a motion and a second to appoint Devin Fother as chairman. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. So I will continue to be chairman.
Went through with a 6 vote too.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna offer myself up, but.
You're very organized.
Then the next position would be co-chair. I mean, unless anybody would like to try to be co-chair, based on the meeting last week, Bob said he would be willing to continue that position. Anybody have strong feeling one way or the other on that?
Anybody else interested in it? Because
Yeah.
he did say he would do it, but he also
Yeah.
said unless somebody else wants it.
Right. Nobody?
Nominate Bob.
Alright, so, are you making a motion to nominate Bob?
Nominate Bob.
Alright, I'll second that motion. So I have a motion and a second to nominate Bob Ryle as the co-chair for the planning commission. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. And the last officer position we need to vote for is the secretary. And Monica's doing such a fantastic job so far. Monica, would you be willing to continue as secretary?
Yes.
All right, so then I will make the motion to have Monica Whitburn as the planning commission secretary.
Second.
Saying a second, so I have a motion and a second to maintain Monica Whitburn as the secretary of the planning commission. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Congratulations.
You know, why was nobody fighting?
All right, and then we do need it is October, so we will also need a park and rec liaison. Sam or
Nominate Ted, or Todd.
Ted, all right. So, Todd, you want to take on that role?
Sure.
All right, so then, Sam, you get making a motion to nominate him? All right, so I will second that motion to have Todd Amer as the Parks and Rec liaison. So we got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right. So then, we already know there's no public hearings that need to be set. So at 7:21, we will open the public hearing for DRJC Holdings LLC, medical and adult use Class C grower special land use permit renewal. Anybody from the public here to speak on this permit renewal?
Anybody?
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 If not, then at 7:21 p.m. we will close the public hearing for DRJC Holdings LLC Medical and Adult Use Class C Grower Special Land Use Permit Renewal and move to Planning Commission action and discussion on DRJC Holdings LLC Medical and Adult Use Class Grower Special Land Use Permit Renewals. All the postings, mailings were done?
Yes.
Any violations at this property?
No.
Any
No
complaints? Okay. Anybody got any questions on this one? This is just a straight renewal.
Just one quick question, actually. We got the two copies. The one is checked for both things and the other is only checked for one. They're not adding something, it's just a duplicate copy we don't need.
Probably.
So this is, the first one is they're renewing medical and adult use. The second one is only adult use.
Alright, I probably need to give you a bad copy.
Okay. Just so that I would read it and wonder and question.
Yes.
Thanks.
I wanna make
That's
sure
a
you
rough.
have a
Toes.
question. I know you like to ask questions.
Thank you, Rachel. Thank you for helping out. The only other thing then would be on page one of both of them, they didn't check whether they're owner, leasing, or option to buy. But they did fill in who owns the property is different. So I assume that means they're leasing.
At least, yeah. So we just need to make sure that the official record one says that they're a lease.
And that was my only question. So I had one in reserve anyhow.
Anybody else? Okay, then I will make the motion to approve DRJC Holdings LLC, medical and adult use Class C grower special land use permit renewals, with the correction to the app showing that they are the leaser on the app. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Todd seconds. So I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? If not, I need a roll call vote, please.
Ben?
Yes.
Todd, not here. Monica? Yes. Devin?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
Sam?
Yes.
Or
Yes.
All right, motion passes. Move on to the next agenda item, planning commission discussion and action on any parks and recreation business. We discussed that at the last meeting, unless you guys had something that you forgot to bring from that meeting. Okay. Then the next agenda item is additional business, which is actually this detailed budget request form. Since I know there's been questions and kind of grumblings about like, well, how do we spend money? How do we do this? How do we do that? Do we have the right paperwork? All that good stuff to make sure that like, and especially since like, I mean, we had that documentation, the report that showed there was a discrepancy in between, and now we've got maybe something else to add here. I think, from my previous experience doing capital projects, the best way to kind of like help streamline the process and make sure all the information's there is to have some sort of form that people can like look at it and go like, okay, yes, it fits. This is what we're looking to do. This is why. This is the justification for asking for this money. This is what we actually want to do, and here's the supporting documentation to show why we're saying we want this level of money. And then it's a document that can get passed along to everybody that needs to approve it, so that everybody's on the same page as to what's being requested. And hopefully make sure that documentation that shows like, okay, we're gonna buy this particular thing. This is what this thing costs. So there's some bullet points on here like attach detailed breakdown of costs if projects related to construction and remodeling. Attach documentation detailing changes. I think this will help at least try to get people used to the idea of, at least from my perspective, how the budgeting and capital expenses are supposed to be done, and we can start moving towards a more uniform request process. And even for us, like, I think if we're ever going to be asking for capital type expenditures, like we should have similar documentation. Now, obviously, we don't do that right now, but long term, like one of the things on here to check is what does this support? Is master plan goals. There could be a case made that there's stuff in the master plan that we should be asking for capital investment from the township on to be able to move some of those goals forward. So, that is, I think this will help kind of get everybody. Now, obviously, this is being driven just by the Parks and Rec right now because they're doing most of the expenses. But I think this is, even from a township standpoint, at the board level, is something maybe they should even start considering. Just because it will help people kind of all understand, like, okay, this is the thought process. This is what I think, just starting right at the top, project type. Is this a purchase of equipment, purchase facilities, maintenance of the facilities that are there, or is this an event? Right off the bat, we all know we're all on the same page as what is being done here.
I would suggest an addition right off the bat on both of those boxes.
Yep.
Other explanation spot. That way you're covering anything you didn't think of.
Oh, that's fine. Yep, that's
Just a suggestion.
That's a good point.
And I think the same thing under the supports. Just, it gives a catch-all spot that you
Gotcha.
you
Nope.
don't- and it might even fit into one of the others, but you don't know how, so here it is.
Yep.
Check other and fill in why.
my suggestion is for them to be in alphabetical order and then other be the very last one because. It's supposed to be in alphabetical order.
Look, I was doing this at 9 o'clock at night, and I was just trying to pull something together to be like a start of a
This is a
conversation.
nice proactive try, Devin.
Yeah.
Come on, alphabetical order, Devin.
This also goes with that, I mean, you could,
You
get them
could,
both turned in, and then
yeah.
you would hit a lot of the boxes. It's,
What's the second thing you're looking at?
It's a liaison report
Liaison report.
documentation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, I mean, this is, so like, what I envision this document being is like it gets filled out and then like there's no question of like, okay, well now what's getting passed on to the Board of Trustees for approval? Like this gets filled out, we go, yep, this is what we're looking at, this is what we're doing, this is what we're approving, we sign off on it, then this kind of documentation all gets packaged up and gets sent to the Board of Trustees for review. So we're not missing, I don't want to put this, so we're not missing anything in the transfer in between each thing. And if something is getting missed, at least then it's all like, okay, hey, they didn't fill this part out. Okay, now when we go back to the Parks and Rec and say like, hey, you didn't fill this out, that's why we didn't take action on it. Now we have something to point at, like, hey, this didn't get filled out properly. This is why we're saying like, hey, you need to redo this action and then bring it back to us.
There's no paper trail.
I like it just because it
I love it.
reminds you to ask these questions.
Right.
I would suggest we put the date and also submitted by on that as well.
Well, so the reason I left submitted by off of it was because, I mean, the thought here is that we know where it's coming from, right? So the date submitted, yes, I agree. So a date line, agreed.
If it's going to possibly get adapted by other
Right.
agencies, why not put the by? And I don't mean by a person.
Yeah.
I assume she meant
Yeah,
Parks and
whichever.
Rec or
Yeah,
the PC.
whichever board, yeah.
And then it could even have a spot
I mean,
where
that
now
could be-
after it comes from Parks and Rec to us, then we sign off the same form before we
Right.
send it to the board.
So you're talking like an actual detailed chain of
So
flow of the
It
documentation
just
where
shows
it came
that
from.
Parks and Rec requested it,
Right.
and Planning Commission approved or recommended approval.
Okay.
It would be nice if there was a way, once it's
I didn't
approved,
think of that.
it goes back to the board that originally submitted it, because then you're not saying, well, it's approved, who's ordering it? Well, if we have the document back, well, here's proof, or I mean, shows that I can order it because it's been approved now.
So then maybe instead of one being the project type, making one submitting body.
And then maybe at the bottom like how you do something that says office use only down the bottom paper. That's where you could have
Yeah, the paper the paper trail.
So at the top would be just who originated. I got you. Yeah.
So date, that would just be in the header, the date, and then under where it's like, hey, to be completed for all budget spend requests. Then the first bullet point would be the submitting body, so that would be like Parks and Rec, and I can even add checkboxes for that as well. I'll do it initially just for like, was it the ZBA, the Parks and Rec committee, and us, and then I'll just put an other in there just as a placeholder. And then the project type, project details, project description, motion made to initiate budget request and date of motion. Project cost estimate, which is all the documentation to justify the spend, and then you're saying like at the bottom some sort of chain.
So that's where it would show that now the PC is recommended
Right.
approval back to the board.
Yeah, so chain of,
And a place for the board to sign on. Whatever.
what's the word I'm looking for? Chain of custody. So chain of custody for this document, like so it went. So here's the submitting body. It went to the planning commission. Planning commission is recommending it, and it might actually end up being a second page because it'd be what we recommended and then the motion and wording that we used to say, hey, this is what we approved. And then, okay.
I like it, because it keeps, from documents getting lost while I turned them in while I didn't get it, you know?
Right.
Well, and also just exactly what happened Tuesday night. I
Right.
didn't have my files with me to be able to say that number's not right.
Right.
I did remember verbally that I thought it was 1,700,
Right.
but I didn't have the document with me
Right.
to agree that, show that.
Yeah, because I think that was what the cost just for the sign. That wasn't including
Well, I know we said up to because
17
of-
because of needing cement and needing all the stuff to be able to just install the
and the
sign.
supervisor said that's not necessary because it's being donated by R&R. But I don't remember him saying that.
Well,
So-
I know he said he was
said-
donating the bracketing, but I don't know if he said he was going to donate the cement or not.
Okay.
He was going to donate the bracketing to go onto the cement
I could
pile.
have swore it was the opposite way around though. I thought he said something about I have a piece of cement I'll donate.
No.
Those brackets are so much money a piece.
No. He said he would donate. He's got all kinds of the brackets.
Okay, well then I misunderstood.
Yeah.
But either way, I
Right.
had questioned that, and the supervisor said no.
Right. I think
Why
it's
didn't you
morphed
include the
in.
extra?
I think it's morphed into like digging the holes, putting in the cement pylons.
And I can
But
tell you,
I'm going to clarify with
I can
Bob.
tell you, R&R said no. I've got chunks of cement that are plenty big enough. He
Well-
said those words. I remember that clearly.
That was bumpers.
Nope, he was talking about for this sign.
But the sign have to be
Fair
fresh
enough.
cement though?
Huh?
For the signs, does it have to be fresh cement to,
No, he could set a concrete, just like this voting box out here.
Well, it's got to be.
That's a piece of concrete that they set already formed and they just leveled it.
I think what he was talking about specifically were digging cement piers. Because that's how we got talking about it, because the sign
That makes
itself.
sense, and I understand that, but
The
I
sign
swear I
itself
heard him
was
say the
said
other
to be
word.
set up, like, you drive a bunch of nails part way in.
Yeah.
Sink the
And
post
sink
in the
it into concrete, and he's like, no, you can't do it that way. And then that's when he talked about donating the brackets. But even at the last conversation I had with him at the October 3rd meeting, he mentioned like, well, just let me know when it gets approved, and I'll send a guy over. So I think it's
And that's
morphed
the
a
same
little bit.
meeting where he said, I have pieces of
No,
concrete that are.
that was that he was talking about because we were talking about the.
He was talking about bumpers also.
We were talking about the bumpers. He's like, I got all kinds of those. He'll sell us those.
Yeah, he said
Now,
he gets them by
I
50.
understand that, he did say that. But he sat right here and he said, I have pieces of concrete, they'll never move these concrete. Those were his
Okay.
words. So that's where it confuses me.
Maybe,
now.
yeah. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe he wants
I-
to put the bumpers on the concrete, that's what he said.
Either way, that's off topic.
Either
of
way,
this.
right.
But, well, sort of off topic. But yes, like
Raise your
documentation
hands when
like
he sees
that.
it, will ya?
Right here in the meeting minutes, Bob Rouse states he will donate the P-Rock and brackets for the mounting of the sign,
Yeah.
and that was it.
Oh, okay. You're gonna clear your throat or something so we know your hands up.
No, I didn't want to interrupt this lovely conversation.
So anyway, yes, this type of stuff is what my hope is with this, is that we have clear spelled out, like, okay,
Yeah.
this is what's gonna happen.
More
As soon as I seen it, I knew that had your name written all over it.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's great.
It's
a very good
idea.
Uniform.
Yeah, and it's just
Everybody
coming from being in a business where we have to do this kind of documentation to justify any kind of spend. And sometimes getting spend approved here is also like pulling teeth. I think this will help with that because it will uniformly be like, this is what we're asking for, this is why we're asking for it. And that was one of the reasons, just thinking about the master plan goals. I mean, the Parks and Rec has master plan goals. Like, we should know whether or not some of this stuff is being specifically asked
Yeah.
to be able to support that. Because, that's supposed to be done at, over so many years. So that's exactly why I put that on there. So I mean, is there any other changes that people would like to see?
Under the submitting body thing, I don't know if that's the proper wording, that's your wording, that's fine. But would you put in some suggestions and leave an other space again, or just leave it?
Yeah, I'm gonna put check boxes for.
Because I'm thinking right off the bat, you've got zoning administrator, maybe he needs something, you've got marijuana coordinator, maybe they need something, you've got administrative assistant, maybe they need something, they could all use this for.
Zoning.
I'm just wondering.
MC, I mean, these are great suggestions. I think those,
Because
that
the
makes sense.
uniformity would help any position, I
Right.
think.
Absolutely.
Already committed.
Administrator, marijuana coordinator,
Zoning Board of Appeals, I can't think of a thing they would need at this point, but who knows? Something could come up.
CBA. I mean, they.
And I don't know if you need a checkbox for all of them, maybe just a couple and then we're other for the rest.
Yeah,
I mean, I could also just make it a line, but
Yeah.
I like having the check boxes so you're affirmative. Like this is who is submitting this, and it's always consistent wording,
Right.
right? So
I
it's
love the
not-
idea, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
ZBA, Parks and Rec, PC. So zoning administrator, marijuana coordinator, administrative assistant,
And then remember, I mean,
ZBA,
once we
Parks and Rec,
do
and Parks
this,
and
it's
Rec.
just a matter of recommending it to the board still.
Right.
Adopt it.
Right. Well, I mean, I think even for just interaction between to make our jobs easier, because we can have our own forms.
Right,
We can still make it a like, hey, this is the way that this has got to be done, just between the Parks and Rec
sure,
and
I
us.
got you.
But my goal is to recommend it be used uniformly across all budget requests. That would be my ultimate goal. So for submitting body, I'll make that a series of check boxes with these in mind. The project type, we got equipment, facilities, maintenance, event, other. I'll leave it with that at this point. If we think of other ones in the future, obviously this will be a living document. Project details, so project name, what it supports, project description and justification. And the only reason I did that, even though like realistically the justification, you should be able to justify it by what it's supporting. I put that in there so people actually have to think and spell out exactly why they're requesting it, and we're not having to make our own assumption as to like, well,
What were they-
exactly what do you mean by it? It's a community engagement, and so that's why that's in there. And then the motion made to initiate the budget request and data motion, that should be pretty self-explanatory. It's just so we have in a centralized location, like, hey, this is what was said at the meeting. If you can't fill that in, then obviously no motion was made. Then really a request for budget spend wasn't
Right.
there.
It goes back to when they just requested a budget with a list of suggested they might do things.
Right. Yep. Actually, I might change that from budget request to expense request
Yeah,
because that's really too. So
Right.
detailed expense
Yep.
expense request is actually what this should be, or some other wording. I might do expense/capital request.
and I think we should put the logo on top, because it just makes it pretty.
I didn't have access to it, so I didn't put it in there. So it's going to be detailed expense/capital request form. Motion made to initiate expense/capital request. Yeah, the logo. Cost estimate. Anything in there, like any details there that we should add? Like, again, this was very high level, just to have something to discuss to kind of get the wheels turning on this. And that was part of the reason why. So back to like the asking for the budget at the beginning of the year. That's why I said like this is included in the fiscal year budget request. So we know that it was like, okay, whatever this expense is within what was already previously approved. This is just getting it, like, now breaking down what is actually being purchased. And then,
Are you talking about under number 5?
five, what was 5 will now be 6 because of
Right.
the submitting body, but
You're
yes.
changing,
Yeah, the project cost estimate, that it was included in
The
the
only
fiscal
thing
year
is,
budget
It
request.
might be a good idea to say attach any estimated I'll use the example of the bumpers and
Right.
sign this last week. If this was on that request, they should actually have those stapled right to it.
Yeah, was trying to make the attached detail breakdown of costs kind of the catch-all on that, but you're right, I should
All the
say,
supporting documents.
yeah, attached detailed breakdown of costs and supporting
There you go,
documents.
supporting documents.
Also, maybe a date on which they plan on having this executed, like they need it by such and such a date or whatever. Because I mean, you can approve this
Right.
expense, but what if they don't do it for 5 months or?
So, the reason I didn't originally put that in there, because I was looking at this more of a flow from the Parks and Rec up through us, is because I know whatever date gets assigned to it, it's going to be delayed by the fact of how many approval processes it's got to go through. So the other thing I saw on some forms that were like this were to assign it a priority. Is it a priority 1 project? Is it priority 2 project? Is it priority 3 project? And then we can define what that means. Like, hey, this needs, like, we need to move this through the process as quick as possible. 2 means like, hey, we're requesting this, but it's going to take, you know, we're not ready to execute it right now because of XYZ. So like, for example, putting in the sign, it's starting to get cold. It might be starting to get too cold to put in a sign and have it reliably stable in the ground. So we want to wait until the weather changes for that kind of thing. And then a priority 3 is like, we want the money available. This is who we're, you know, this is how we're going to approach it, but we still need to work with whoever to get it done. But we just need it, we need to make it aware of, you know, people aware that it needs to be done. So I would be more open to doing something like that, or not even doing a 3-tier, just do like a priority 1 or a priority 2. Priority 1 is it's like it's got to move through the process as quickly as possible. Priority 2 is like we've got some time to stop and think and talk about this.
The only thing is if I'm putting it in, it's always going to be number 1 priority.
Well, no, I get that.
You know?
So yeah, I mean, I also, like, I understand that. Everybody thinks their project is a
Right.
priority 1. But in the realistic terms of, like, okay, so, for an example, like this sign, because it's taken so long to get to it, like, realistically, if we're going to buy it now, it might make more sense to wait until, like, May to get it done.
Mhm.
Like, we've got some time to think about it. We've got some time, not to say like we should just sit around on it, but like it's not a barn burning situation where we've got to get it
Right.
done immediately.
It's not a need, it's
Right.
a want.
Like, so like for my example, like a priority 1 is going to be something that's like safety related, or like, hey, like when the tree fell on the pavilion, like, hey, we need to get money to fix this. Plus, while we're doing this, we would also like to add this, because it makes sense to add this at the same time since we already have to fix this thing. So that would be like a priority 1. A priority 2 just basically says like, hey, if we need time to like rework things, yeah, okay, kick it back to us. We'll you know, back to the planning, or no, to the Parks and Rec. We can reword it if you didn't like the way that it was presented the first time. Otherwise, if it's a priority 1, we're going to go like, well, this is the change that needs to be made to get it through, and then we're just going to change it.
That part has been confusing since I started on these boards. I mean, something like the laptop. How long have we been trying for a laptop? And yep, we got them, but it's always like a circle to try to get it done.
Right. So that's, I mean, if we're going to do something like that, that's probably what I would push more towards. Like,
So how about if we just suggest you go ahead and put some options down on paper and bring it back to us?
yeah, I will. Yeah, I mean, I think that's, but like if we're going to do something like that instead of a date that they want to execute it, I would do it as is it a higher priority or a lower priority type situation? Because then that gives everybody a chance to be like, okay, we got some time to talk about it.
Note to self, anything submitted by Todd is really a
Priority 1. The eagle has landed.
So I will probably insert that before project description, so project priority.
And I think this is a pretty good idea, so can we expedite this to make sure it's on our agenda for our special meeting. That way, if we approve it.
You mean
or
our
we like
second
it-
regular meeting?
Yeah, that's what I'm sorry. I meant to say that, yes. The extra meeting.
Yeah.
That way, we don't have to wait a whole month to deal with it again.
Yeah, I can-
If the next meeting, it's everybody likes it, or okay, can you change one word, then it can be already approved.
Yeah, I can make some. I can
And we
make
can actually
those
get it
changes.
use.
Yeah.
We can submit it to Parks and Rec immediately then.
Yeah.
So they can start using it at the next meetings.
Yeah, I can make those changes.
Because you're right, we don't need the
Easy.
board for that. We only need the board to, if they want to push it to everybody.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Anything else on this? Any other changes that you guys would like to see?
I like it. I think it's the two of these together.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you can use them together. I mean, obviously, just the liaison
Yeah.
report, just general, like, hey, we need,
Right,
informational type stuff.
I would say that liaison report is all you need for routine business.
Right.
But whenever this is included, there
Whenever
should be a
there's gonna be a-
liaison report with it.
Yeah,
That backs it up.
exactly, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't need to
Good.
be on here, that's just something you have to do.
Yeah,
Okay.
That
Good.
would be part of your documentation.
Yeah. This gives me a better starting point.
Very good idea, thank you, Deb.
Yep. All right. Then with that, unless anybody's got any other additional business, all right. Then we'll move to public comment. Anybody got public comment? Just general, non-business
That
related
includes
comment?
us, by the way.
Yeah.
In case you have something you want to talk about that's not on the agenda.
Baseball games, I was.
No, we'll talk about that.
Just as a reminder, the 19th at the park, they're doing the haunted trail and all that. So I can't remember the times though. I know it's later in the
it
day.
is.
When is that one again?
2 to 5, and then
Okay.
the trail is this.
2 to 5 is the trunk or treat event up at the school, and then 7 to 9 is the actual haunted trail stuff.
But if
That I can
anybody
remember.
wants to help, show up, Doris said she was gonna be there about 9 in order to start decorating the trails and stuff like that, so if you're available, use all the help we can
And if
get.
you want to scare people, she's still looking for volunteers.
When is that one again?
Next weekend,
Next,
Not
next
this.
Saturday.
yes, the night.
19th,
Yep.
Saturday.
Also, the 4 to 9 event is not the trunk or treat.
I thought she said it
Trunk or
was.
treat is a separate date, and that's just for
Oh,
students.
okay,
So that's still
I'm getting
at the
confused.
pavilion,
okay.
but it's just like an event.
It's just like just a people show up.
We do have a professional photographer that's coming free of charge to do fall minis for free.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Anything else? If not, then I will make the motion to adjourn. Sam second, so I have a motion and a second to adjourn. That's not what I wanted to do. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned
I
at
said aye, by the way, I just
7:50.
didn't say it loud.
Yeah. Meeting is adjourned at 7:52.
So I think that you're super genius. I love this. I love the fact that you're very organized.
I gotta have it done in a way that makes sense.